Hello, my name is Marco Lambertini, and I am the Director General of WWF International, and it's a pleasure to be attending the Milano Green Forum. The first question was what WWF is doing to address the ecological transition. Our mission in WWF is to build a future where people live in harmony with nature. And to achieve such a comprehensive, ambitious mission, we need, of course, a holistic, integrated approach, which connects to our theory of change. We believe that in order to protect natural systems like forests, the ocean, rivers, lakes, freshwater systems in general, and their wildlife, we need to address the key drivers of environmental degradation, particularly climate change and the food consumption and production system of today. And in order to influence the food systems and the energy sector, we need to focus on key enabling factors: market transformation, sustainable finance, and good governance. And that leads to three top global goals that we are committed to deliver by 2030 and drive the world to embrace and deliver by 2030. The first one is to halt the destruction of natural habitats by protecting more, at least 30% on land and in the ocean, by through government action, but also communities, indigenous people, private ventures, and sustainably manage the remaining natural places. The second goal is to halt the human-induced extinction of species and population decline of wildlife. And that means curbing wildlife trade and poaching on land, but also overfishing in the ocean. And the third goal is to halve the human footprint on the planet, particularly focusing on the key economic sectors that are driving climate change and nature loss today. Energy sector, the food sector, the food systems, both on land, agriculture, and in the sea, fishing, mining, infrastructure, forestry. Those are the key economic drivers of nature loss and climate change today. And doing so by boosting, as I said earlier, green finance that supports this transition towards sustainable practices, sustainable production, and sustainable consumption. The second question is ecological transition go through individual actions. So what am I doing in my own life to support this transition? I will mention four things. First one, I try to consume less of everything, whether it is energy, water, clothing, other commodities. I try to use less and not to waste anything. The second thing is when I use something, I try to use something that is produced sustainably and responsibly, both socially and environmentally. There are many certification schemes today. For example, when you buy fish, you can choose fish that is fished sustainably, so it doesn't affect overall the fish stocks, the health of the fish stocks. You can buy also certified timber that is produced through sustainable forestry. You can choose, when you have to choose plastic is recyclable or even better, biodegradable. And just some examples. And of course, when I eat food, I definitely drastically reduced the consumption of red meat, high footprint on the planet, and in favor of a plant-based diet. And of course, I avoid to waste any food. The third point is by making my voice heard. I make by myself, but also joining others, petitions, organizations, coalitions. And finally, the fourth point, but not less important, when I vote for leaders that are sensitive to sustainable development. The last question is if anything of anybody has provided me inspiration in terms of ecological transition. Three examples. The first one is the rise of protected areas in the world. In the 80s, WWF celebrated 1% of the world protected, under protection. And at the time that was national parks, natural reserves, etc. Today we are 15%, so great development. And of course, we want to get to 30% by 2030. But what is exciting about today and about the goal by 2030 is that we're not just thinking of the classic legal conservation areas like protected areas national parks, but actually new innovative ways, community-led conservation areas, indigenous people conservation areas, private conservation areas. And so all this adds to the menu of options to protect more land and more ocean. The second inspiration has been the Montreal Protocol, signed in 1987. It was about the depletion of the ozone layer. It was a great threat to humanity and to the planet. And the world rallied together, pulled together, and agreed on phasing out particular substances responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer, particularly CFCs and other substances like that. And they managed to phase that out successfully. And so I think that an inspiration, because it's exactly what we need today vis-a-vis other global challenges like climate change and biodiversity loss. And so the world should, like they did in Montreal for the ozone layer, they should do the same exactly for climate change and biodiversity loss now. And the last inspirational moment is Pope Francis, Pope Francisco, and his Laudato Si encyclica, which was a call for compassion, for respect, for coexistence with nature. It was also a call to look after the planet, our home, because ultimately we depend on nature much more than nature depends on us. And there is not going to be a prosperous, just, equitable, and healthy future for us, for our children, for their children in a degraded planet. And so if there's never been a more crucial time for action, for nature and for people, that time is now.